morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome back to Heartwood Turning in the Stable Studio. Today, I've got the gloves on. We've got a little project that came from our good friends at Robert Sorby, and we'll go over to the lathe and we'll have a look and see what we've got. We have a Robert Sorby Patriot chuck. Our good friends at Robert Sorby sent us this to do a review on and to try, see how we get on. So without further ado, we'll crack open the box and we'll see what's in it. So inside the box we've got a couple of leaflets, one detailing the chuck itself and one detailing the optional jaws and accessories. We'll come back to both of these just shortly. There is a little bag of tools, so let's have a quick look at that. We have a couple of Allen keys. We have a grub screw, and we have a woodworm screw. Let me just bring that back to there, you'll be able to see that better. A little woodworm screw for attaching our bowl or work. Leave that there. We have a spare band for around the edge of the chuck, or it's a wristband, one of the two. We have an Allen key, which is an 8mm ball socket end Allen key. It's got a really substantial handle. I like the handle. That's a bonus point straight away. So we'll put that down there. And last but not least in this box, we have the chuck itself in a plastic bag. And we'll just put that box to one side just for a second. So here it is in its plastic bag. It's fully assembled already, which is unusual these days. And it's covered in protective film, like a Vaseline grease or whatever that is. I don't know what you would call that stuff, but it's pretty sticky. So we'll leave that on there for now. It's already got a set of jaws on it. These are the 2-inch jaws, I like to believe. And that's everything that comes in the box. We've got this. We've got the chuck all nicely cleaned up now, and the method of cleaning, we just took it and used some methylated spirits and give it a wipe down with a cloth and some kitchen towel, and it's now nice and clean and nice and shiny. And we'll go through the chuck in a bit more detail now. So just to remind you of what was in the box, we had a nice chuck key, which we like a lot. I have to say it's nice and chunky handle. We're impressed with that. And it has a ball end on it, which when you put it in the chuck, it tilts over. So if you've got a big piece of wood on here, you can still operate the chuck, so that it's not going to bang into the piece of wood. That's a great addition to the system. Also in the box there was the woodworm screw, which takes an 8mm drill bit, which is a joy, instead of a 7.5 or some ridiculous size. We have two Allen keys, a 3mm and a 4mm. The 3mm is for the grub screw, so a little grub screw, and I'll show you what the grub screw is for. On this chuck, it is the reverse locking grub screw, so it just fits in the back of the chuck in here, and it will come all the way through into here, and it will lock itself onto my spindle. So that's in case you have a reverse on your lathe. Now, it is also used for inserts. So if you're buying a chuck, this one is an M33 direct thread, but the remainder of the chuck's the same body all the time, but there are different inserts to suit the different spindle diameters on your lathe. So you need to make sure you're buying the correct insert to suit your spindle. I'll put a list up of what they are, and the link to the website, the Robert Sorby website, at the end of the video and in the description. So let's have a quick look at the chuck then itself. Just to talk you through it, this chuck came to me with a set of 2-inch jaws. And I'm going to show you the jaws, so I'll just take them off. I'll use my Allen key rather than the Robert Sorby one. I'll just take one jaw off. Simply comes off. There's a little machine screw there. So 2 per jaw on this set of jaws anyway. And that just lifts off now. Lift that off, take the screw out. Make sure you don't lose the screw and your shavings. So let's have a detailed look at the jaw first. Oh. So the jaw, it comes in 4 sections, obviously. They're not numbered. They don't need to be numbered. It's that precisely made. There is no numbering system. So each jaw fits anywhere. The important bits to note about this jaw, that if I hold it like that, you should be able to see. Let me just take that out of the way so you're looking against a grey background. There. We can see that this is the face of the jaw here, the inside, the outside. If I called that the face and this bottom end the heel, from the face to the heel is 14 mil. 10 mil down, there is a couple of little gripper teeth down in here. So if you've got an awkward shaped piece of wood, make your tenon a little bit longer, make it about 12 or 13 mil long, so it doesn't bottom out, but it manages to get down to these gripper teeth. Both the inside and the outside of the jaw are dovetailed, and that's the same for the whole range of jaws. There are some, I think it's 12 sets of jaws that you can use with this this chuck system, and the majority of them are dovetailed. So make sure you make your dovetail when you're doing your mortise or your tenon. The other point to note on here is this raised groove or raised section. If I can turn it that way, you may see there's a couple of little indentations here, and then there's this raised section in the middle. That fits directly onto the carrier. So we have the carrier here with its 2 screw holes, and this piece sits directly onto that. So you just need to slide it in until it sits on it. I'm just going to open that chuck up a little bit, just to let you see. Make it easier for you. You see how nice and easily that thing scrolls? It is so well made, I have to say. Now that's I've set this one in its little groove. It can move sideways now, but it can't move back and forward. But there's a little bit of play in that. You see that? So if I was to put this back on, and any time I'm setting jaws on, I always make sure that I put the screws in first and just give them a little tighten up. Don't over tighten them. So they're actually not holding it tight, if you like. I'll show you that in a second. So these screws, see how that it's got a little bit of wobble room in it? Now, if that was happening in all 4 of those, I could then screw this up. Let me just get that back to this one we're looking at. Screw that back up, and as they come together, they will all kind of sort of self-adjust a little bit, and make sure you've got a nice round circle, and then we can tighten that up. That's the wrong one. It's this one. No, it's not. Which one did I not tighten? This one. There it is. So we'll tighten that up and tighten that one up, and we can just go around the whole thing, make sure they're all nice and tight before we start to use it. That's all 4 jaws nice and tight. So that's basically the jaw and the fitting of the jaw. The next thing I want to show you about the jaws is the use of the woodworm screw. The woodworm screw comes, and it's got, the center post is 8 mil, and you've got this deep cut thread in it. So the hole you need to drill when you're using this woodworm screw is an 8 mil drill bit, and you obviously to the depth that's required. To fit it to the chuck, and this one has got a nice groove in it here, and then it's got flats rounded on the end. So it sits in the chuck, and we just tighten the jaws up so that the edge of the jaws fit into the groove. See how it's sitting on the screw? I just tighten up a little bit more, and what I'm going to do then is make sure it can't rotate. There. But it's not tight, see? So it can't rotate there now, but it's not tight. I'm going to pull it forward now, and then screw it tight. And the reason I'm telling you to do that is when it's on the lathe, if I left that pushed all the way in and then tightened up, when I screwed the piece of wood on, it's liable just to pull that forward anyway. So you might as well pull it forward into the jaws so as it's held correctly. And when you tighten the piece of wood up, there's no further movement in it. And to remove it, it's very simple. Just do this opposite thing. Just unscrew it and then take it out. So that's the woodworm screw. Now, let me just do another couple of little features on the back of this. On the back, we've got this plate on the back, which is it's aluminium. It's got Robert Sorby Patriot chuck written on it for you. And all it is to protect the gearing mechanism in the inside. So there's obviously a pinion here and a pinion here, and inside there is a rack. I'm just going to quickly show you it. So we can quickly unscrew that. It doesn't really need maintenance, guys, but if at some stage you feel your chuck's getting a bit hard to scroll or something, you might think there's something wrong in here. So it's not a big deal to undo it. Just make sure when you do undo it, it's face down. Lift off your ring, and inside there's the two pinions, one here, one here. There's a little pin in there that holds it in that hole, and in that hole there's a pin, and there's the 3 screw holes. If I just operate that now, you'll see that this little, all it does is the 2 pinions that drive the scroll in and out. And it's well lubricated, well greased already. You don't really need to be going in there. So if I put this back on now, line up the screws and pop them back in. So it's easily accessible if you need to. If you think it's starting to jam up or something, or in 10 years' time you might want to replace that lubricant. But I don't think you will ever need to. And that leads me nicely on to the fact that this chuck has a lifetime warranty. Robert Sorby are that confident in their machinery that they're offering a lifetime warranty on that chuck, which is pretty amazing these days. Now, a couple of things about dimensions. The chuck body itself is 42mm. The overall size with this set of jaws on, with the M33 insert in it, it's 73mm, so just about 3 inches there.
I like the compact design, as opposed to some other chucks that are currently on the market, which seem to be rather large and clunky.
But it's because has the aluminium plate, etc. on the back, it's much kinder to smaller spindles, I would think. But it's a substantial chuck, and it will do everything that I want it to do on this Axminster 508 lathe. So, and as I said earlier, it has a substantial number of jaws. I'll just show you this little leaflet that comes with the chuck. Patriot wood turning chuck. I'll turn it that way so you can read it. And then these are the different jaws that come with it. And they start at 1 3/8, 2 inch, which is the set that's on the chuck, and then 2 3/4, 3 1/2, 4 1/4. And then there is a set of bowl reversing jaws.
So on the opposite page we have another set of jaws. These are the specialist jaws. This starts off with a set of the 1 inch for smaller work, a set of pin jaws, and then we have a set of pen blank jaws, and then we have a set of long nose jaws, which are good for remounting large bowls, etc. And below that then we have a set of deep gripper jaws. They're about 4 inch, I think, useful for large bowls. And then we have a set of dome jaws, and at the bottom of the page then we have the nylon custom jaws that you can custom make to suit yourself. And the last thing on that page then is the step center, which fits into the standard jaws.
just a bit like, has the same sort of fitting as the woodworm screw, but it's a step center. So there's the sizes, gives you a detailed range of the sizes, capacities of the chucks, all on that leaflet, which I'll give you a link to. And there is also in the box a leaflet which tells you how to use the chuck. I'll do it that way so as you can see it. A leaflet tells you how to use the chuck correctly, and it also tells you the contents, gives you the detail of the contents, and then over the page there's a user's guide, some safety notes, and then it gives you a little project that you can make. And that's the chuck, guys. I think it's a super little chuck. For me, at the cost of somewhere in the region of £200 from most retailers. I could talk all day about who sells them. It's a popular chuck. It's a substantial piece of kit. I have to say, it's really well made. I just love how well that scrolls. It's unbelievably precise, and I mean, I've got old arthritic fingers, and that scrolls easily, simply. So it's going to be a real good one-handed operation when I'm actually using the tool on the lathe. So there you go. That's the overview of the chuck. I'm impressed with it. I think you will be as well. And I have a notion that I may well be changing my chucking system to Robert Sorby, because I actually like this little chuck. The good thing is that it's compatible with the jaws, etc. are compatible with other manufacturers' jaws, with the exception of maybe a couple. So that's a bonus point as well. Just to recap, Robert Sorby Patriot chuck. Make sure you get the correct spindle size for your lathe. What does it say on the box here? Some real good information on here. Fits a wide range of wood turning lathes. Really smooth jaw movement, which I've just demonstrated. It has a huge range of jaws and accessories. It comes with the 2-inch jaws, which most people, I would say, use 2-inch jaws more than any other. And the last box with a tick on it there is peace of mind with a Robert Sorby lifetime guaranteed. So there you go, guys. That's my first impressions of the Patriot chuck with its kit. I'm have to say that I'm rightly impressed with that piece of kit, and it won't be long before I have another one, I wouldn't think. So thanks for watching, and the details to follow of the jaws. I'm going to show you some pictures, etc. of the jaws, and don't forget the links will be in the description.